I'm doing the FYC dance, that can only mean one thing. We're live. You are watching Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel live. Brand new episode of FYC. We're covering Emmy season. Emmys. And as we talk right now, the Cannes Film Festival is picking their winners. So I am wondering if we are going to see a winner from the Cannes Film Festival go the distance again at the Academy Awards after Honora did just that last year. But we are getting way ahead of ourselves because we are covering the Emmys, which are going to take place on September 14th, 2025. The Emmy nominations are less than 2 months away on Tuesday, July 15th. So we are covering Outstanding Limited Series. So this is going to be another pretty short episode of FYC. But Perri, how do you feel about the playing field for Limited Series?
Of the ones that I have watched at the moment, I am quite satisfied with what could get in. I feel extremely strongly personally about 3 of them. And of those 3, I think 2 are guaranteed locks for nominations.
I agree with that. I think actually, I think 4 are locks for noms. Jeff, what about you? How do you feel about Limited Series nominees?
I think there are 3 locks right now, with one very clear winner. I think this is already over and done with, but I can't wait to see what list we come up with.
Well, this list is going to be interesting because I feel, and I'm going to say, so Derek, who's watching us live right now, says, happy Saturday. Is Adolescence going to win this? So I think, and I'm going to start off here just by saying, I think Adolescence is this year's baby reindeer, the show, the limited series that is way out in front and going to go the distance, although I could be wrong because there are other lock nominees here that could actually pull ahead of this. And I love Adolescence. I mean, it's 4 episodes. It's streaming on Netflix. If you've not seen it, they're all oneers, which is what they say to describe a complete one-take scene on the studio, which is, I think, the best comedy series of the year. But, we'll talk more about that soon. Perri, how do you feel about Adolescence? Is it your number 1?
I think it's game over. I think this race is done. I think Adolescence is going to run away with this category, and it should. It is one of the TV making feats that I still can't quite wrap my brain around, and not even just the fact that they managed to pull off those really complicated oneers, but they're some of the best performances I've seen all season. And one other thing I will say about the oneer that has always really impressed me is that, yes, it is a cool TV feat. Everybody loves a good oneer, as they point out in the studio.
Yeah.
But their oneer bolsters their story. They go hand in hand. They are tethered together. I think it was a very, very smart way to tell that story.
I mean, look, the cover of this week's supplement to Variety, you have Stephen Graham, the creator. He's not only the actor in Adolescence, he's also the creator, which is like incredible. Jeff, where is Adolescence on your list this week?
Number 1 with a bullet. I mean, this is the best thing I've seen all year in any medium. It was a total masterpiece. I knew as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this is going to be big. It was staggering and devastating. And, I don't know if there's going to be a season 2. I mean, this is limited series. They've talked about how to potentially continue this. I don't know that I need a continuation. I thought it was just so perfect what they did, and they deserve all the Emmys.
So for everyone watching live, get ready for your super chats. Get those super chats ready. We want to take all of your questions, not just on limited series, but on comedy series, drama series, and even movies. Maybe you're watching new movies this weekend at the box office. Memorial Weekend, breaking news, is shaping up to be a record-breaking Memorial Weekend, which is huge because not only is it the biggest Memorial Weekend since the pandemic, it's the biggest Memorial Weekend ever. beating 2013's Memorial Weekend record holder currently, which had Fast and Furious 6 that weekend. But you have Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and you have Lilo and Stitch, which is going to clobber Mission Impossible. But it's very, very, very exciting. Would love to hear your take on both movies.
And you have great counter programming, and Final Destination Bloodlines having a great weekend too.
So if you don't want to see Final Reckoning, go see Final Destination, which is, I gotta say, maybe the best of them all. Second only to the first one, but maybe even better than that. But we digress. So, all right. So, Jeff, my question for you, back to outstanding limited series for the Emmys, is who does number 2 work for?
Number 2 works for two little shits, and they are the Menendez brothers.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, that show is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been this drive to let them out of prison and, looking at their background and were they abused and all these extenuating circumstances. I'm sorry, if you shotgun your parents to death, no, you are a threat to society and belong behind bars. So, but leaving that actual legal situation aside, the show I thought was fantastic. I thought Javier Bardem was terrific. Both Nicholas Alexander Chavez and Cooper Koch were, terrifying. And I just thought this was a pretty well done limited series.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I think the fact that it's led to this movement to set them free, or at least, put them on some kind of parole or whatever, is really extraordinary that a limited series on Netflix is doing this. But there you go. All right, Perri, where are Lyle and Eric Menendez, the monster, on your list?
They are my number 3 right now. I was a little hesitant to give Netflix the top 2 spots, and I also think there is another massive contender that is a sure thing for a nomination. So I bumped them down to number 3.
All right, I have Monsters at number 4, but I still think it's a lock. All right, then, Perri, who does your number 2 work for?
My number 2 is going to the Penguin, and I was kind of enjoying the possibility of the Penguin running away with a lot of wins in these categories. I do think since that show's release, we've seen some other very worthy Emmy contenders, so I can't be too mad about that. But I was just so blown away by what the Penguin turned out to be. I was riveted by that whole series. It's, I always say I've never completely lost my interest in Marvel and DC shows and films, but there's no denying that it has waned a little bit over the years. And this is one of those ones that just reinvigorated me. And I don't know, really emphasized what smart stories could be told with these characters. And this one's just top to bottom phenomenal performances. I'm really rooting for this one.
I agree with you, Perri. I have the Penguin at number 2 as well. And I got to say, next to the Penguin on HBO Max, a show, I mean, it's a limited series. It's only the one season, probably, but I think it's exceptional. I think it's one of the best, comic book inspired shows, next to Daredevil Born Again, which is on Disney Plus. And of course, the first 3 seasons of Daredevil were on Netflix, but are also now on Disney Plus. Daredevil Born Again is so awesome. I love Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio in Daredevil Born Again. Indy loves it.
Indy.
Yeah, Indy's a big fan of Daredevil Born Again. But anyway, back to the Penguin. MrTheInSnyder.com. Where is the Penguin on your list?
It's not my number 2. I have it at number 3. I gave Monsters the edge over the Penguin just because I think it's more. I think the comic book thing is probably a slight knock against it, and Monsters has a certain pedigree, which is why I gave it the edge. But they're very clearly the 2-3, no matter what order you put them in of this race. Penguin was terrific. I thought Colin Farrell was amazing. Kristen Milioti in particular was fantastic. And just the world that they created with the show and expanding it, for out of the Batman, big thumbs up for me.
Well, first of all, I agree completely. Kristen Milioti, Colin Farrell, getting it. We'll cover actor and actress in an upcoming episode of FYC, but Perri, do you think that Colin Farrell is a lock to win Best Actor in a
Oh,
limited
boy.
series, or do you think that Stephen Graham is the one to beat because of just the daring approach to Adolescence?
I'm just pulling up that category. I was not prepared for that.
I'll answer it.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
Stephen Graham is going to win this.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the approach or the fact that he co-created the show. It's just as amazing as Colin Farrell is, and he disappears inside that role.
Mhm.
Yes.
Stephen Graham is incredible.
Yeah, he is.
And I know, the Penguin has Colin has a lot more screen time than Stephen Graham does. His show's only 4 episodes, and he's not in every episode.
Right.
But I would be hard pressed to ignore that performance.
I agree. I don't know, but I mean, Colin Farrell's transformation is one for the books. So who knows?
Looking at my list: Stephen Graham, Colin Farrell, Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti for Black Mirror. Yes, absolutely. All right.
That's a brilliant performance. We'll get to that.
All right. What is next on your list? The amazing Perri Nemiroff.
Here's where I get like a little messier. Admittedly, with these last 2 picks, it was a mix between trying to, read the room and figure out what people are into, and also maybe somewhat giving something a boost because it aligns with what my heart is telling me. The first I'm going to go with is Disclaimer. I was looking at what's left. I don't want to step on anybody else's prediction, but it seems like one of these spots is going to go to Disclaimer or Dying for Sex. And I'm just not hearing enough about Dying for Sex. And I feel like FX is going to have a more difficult time pushing into this race than Disclaimer, which has Apple TV at its back and is going to probably have a very good season. And then there's the one that I will not name that wound up in my number 5. So I'm going to go Disclaimer number 4. And then when the time comes, I'll tell you what my number 5 is. But clearly it's not Dying for Sex now.
Well, it's interesting you brought that up, Perri, because I'm watching Dying for Sex. I thought Michelle Williams is great. I'm not sure I love the show itself. You know what I mean? But I do think that Michelle Williams is a front runner for lead actress in a limited series. But anyway, Jeff, do you have either Dying for Sex or Disclaimer on your top 5?
I do. I have Disclaimer at number 5.
Oh, okay. All right.
I agree with Perri so I haven't seen Dying for Sex. I can't comment on Michelle Williams' performance. I'm sure she's fantastic. She's a great actress, but I just I wasn't really compelled to watch it. And I haven't really heard a lot of people watching it. I don't think it's making the noise that some of these other shows did. And granted, it has the recency element in its favor compared to these other shows that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason, I don't think Dying for Sex makes the list. I could be wrong there, but I'm going to go with Disclaimer at number 5.
All right. Disclaimer at number 5. Okay. So before I weigh in on that, Leo has a great question. Would they give Stephen Graham an Emmy for actor and producer in one night? So first of all, I just want to say, look at that face. Look, that is a yes. Because Stephen Graham is he's an executive producer. He's an actor on the show. Again, there's a really good chance that Adolescence could run away with everything for outstanding limited series. So, all right. So to your points about Disclaimer and Dying for Sex, again, I not only do I think that Michelle Williams is going to get nominated for lead actress in a limited series, I mean, she could win it. I mean, I think she's like, the front runner at this point, but the show I didn't love, whereas Disclaimer, I really did. It's Alfonso Cuarón and, Cate Blanchett, Kevin Kline, excellent show on Apple TV Plus. I have Disclaimer at my number 5 as well. And Dying for Sex in my honorable mention. So I think the 3 of us have it on our list, which is
Disclaimer, guys. Disclaimer was close to a masterpiece that fumbles the bag in the last episode. I hated the last episode. Hated it.
All right,
but it was still good enough overall to get a nomination from me.
And Brad Pitt is a producer on Adolescence too. Boy, Leo, you should be our honorary 4th member of FYC this week. He's just up with the facts. All right, so just my number 3 here is a show that I had very, very low expectations for it because
You're number 3
Number
or number
3?
4?
my number 3.
What?
I
So-
thought we were all Monsters, The Penguin, and Adolescence for the top 3.
Monsters is my number 4.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Hey.
Curveball from Vance.
Oh, okay, okay. So this is a show that when I first heard about it, I went, okay, see if you can guess. Why are they making a miniseries based on a movie that starred Harrison Ford where you know the ending? What could it be? What could it be? Any takers? Any takers?
It's Presumed Innocent.
Yes, Presumed Innocent. But then I watched the show and I was like, that was excellent. That was excellent. Jake Gyllenhaal, Peter Sarsgaard, like that show was excellent. And, you know, if you saw the film, you know, you didn't see what you're going to see in the miniseries. I thought they did a really great job. And I know it's nominated for limited series, but I think they're doing another season. Maybe it's going to be a completely different, you know, like White Lotus type of situation, right?
Yes.
But anyway, I love Presumed Innocent. Did you guys see it? Is it on your list?
It's in my honorable mention mixture.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not writing it. I'm not writing it off, but you know, sometimes when we're doing these predictions, my brain files things based on the studio releasing it and what they're going to do the harder push for, and I kind of just lean towards disclaimer when it comes to Apple TV content. Even though they have Presumed Innocent, Presumed Innocent, and also Dope Thief that could be in the mix.
The Apple TV has just been extraordinary with those shows, Perri, but also the studio for comedy, Severance for drama, Your Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm. I love that show. I cannot wait to watch the last couple episodes. All right, so before we move on, you know, close out this really, really short list here, Perri, do we have any super chats you want to get to?
I fear I might have maybe forgot to turn them on.
So
let's just keep on going.
Okay, let's keep on going. And Perri will turn on the super chats and we'll get to those. But we're going to take a break for station identification. You're watching Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel, which means that if you're not already subscribing, scroll down a little bit and do that right now. Make sure you check out Jeff Snyder's newsletter, theinsnyder.com. And man, oh man, if you're just like kind of bored and you want to just be very, very entertained, you got to follow Jeff Snyder on Twitter. His Twitter feed is, it's first of all, it's so much fun. No one says his peace of mind like Jeff Snyder, and we love him for it. And he is very informed. So I love reading his, and what is your social media handles there?
The In Snyder. If you know me, you know I'm the In Snyder.
And Perri is P Nemiroff at Twitter, Instagram, and I think it's different on one of them.
It's different all over the place. It's either P Nemiroff or Perri Nemiroff. All
right, so make sure you follow P Nemiroff or Perri Nemiroff. Follow me at Movie Mance on Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, Friendster, whatever you want. All right, moving on with the list here. What are we missing from yours, Jeff?
At number 4, I have Presumed Innocent. So I'm going to give Presumed Innocent the edge over Disclaimer. I think that is the more likely nominee. Presumed Innocent was like the summer watch last summer.
Yeah.
It was terrific. But like Disclaimer, the finale wasn't great. It wasn't a bad finale like I thought Disclaimer kind of had. It was just a little underwhelming. But that is why I'm giving it the edge. I thought Gyllenhaal was tremendous. So I think both Apple shows get in over Dying for Sex.
Just some trivia. So Peter Sarsgaard was filming Presumed Innocent, and he had a break in filming Presumed Innocent, so he went off and did September 5. And he only shot his scenes for September 5 for a few days, and then he went back to filming the rest of Presumed Innocent. So
pretty amazing.
That's pretty amazing to go from two completely different, powerful performances like that, that overlapped. Perri, what's missing from your list that we didn't get to?
So this is the one where I think my heart is winning out. I do think it does have a real chance of getting a nomination. It isn't a total curveball, but this would kind of go against how I've been spreading the love by studios here, because it would put 3 Netflix shows in the mix here. I am going with Black Mirror. I mean, I think that show has been utterly brilliant since day one, where obviously it has some like connecting themes from episode to episode, but they're all totally different types of experiences. And I personally thought the set this season was really great across the board. But there's a couple that are like all-timers for me. In particular, Paul Giamatti's episode Eulogy, which like I can't stop thinking about. There's been a lot of Black Mirror episodes over the years that bleed into my real life, and I think about them every now and then. That one, it's like every time I look at a personal photo or take a new one, I'm thinking about, you know, what parts of it are going to fade away between now and like even a year from now, and how I'm going to fill in those gaps and what they'll wind up meaning to me. And I don't know, I could go on and on, but I thought that was exceptional. And also episode 1 of this season, Common People, was pretty phenomenal too. Like amongst others, the USS Callister sequel was great. I'm a big Hotel Reverie fan. That was one of my favorites, but I think this series continues to be a storytelling feat, and I would like to see it honored in its 7th season.
So Black Mirror is in limited series because it's an anthology show like The Twilight Zone, and it is the best anthology show in TV history since The Twilight Zone, and it's, I would say, as good as The Twilight Zone, which is a bold statement because Twilight Zone is one of my favorite shows of all time. I love Black Mirror. I feel like, you know, every morsel of Black Mirror we get, 6-7 episodes a season, I'll take what I can get. Charlie Brooker has just done a fantastic job making something that's provocative but very current, you know, with technology and all that stuff in the show. Black Mirror is great. Jeff, is there anything missing from your list we didn't get to?
No, you and I have the same 5, Scott, I believe.
I'm overruled.
So, yeah, Dying for Sex is you know right beneath those. Black Mirror is there as well, and then there's one show I finished last night that I think is also in the honorable mentions. It's in the mix, and that's The Better Sister.
Oh, okay.
Jessica Biel and Elizabeth Banks. I bet you guys haven't watched that one.
Have not.
That's high up on my list, though.
See, I'm probably one of the only ones in the universe. We'll finish the show.
Pitch us the show, Jeff.
It's basically Jessica Biel and Elizabeth Banks are sisters, and one of their husbands gets murdered, and their one of their sons falls under suspicion. It was good. It was definitely good. Loved Elizabeth Banks on the show, but I don't quite think it was good enough to crack this field. But it will be in contention if enough people, you know, watch it as soon as it comes out.
Honestly, you have me at Jessica Biel, so I will definitely have to check it out. So yes, Jeff, our 5 match, not in this order necessarily, but the Adolescence, Penguin, Presumed Innocent, Monsters, Lyle and Eric Menendez, and Disclaimer. I do love Black Mirror. I mean,
Black Mirror felt like a weak season to me.
No.
I'm the opposite.
And especially like even Eulogy, which was, you know, a nice little episode, and Paul Giamatti was good, but that's not the kind of I like fucked up Black Mirror, not like. That's
the beauty. That is the beauty of Black Mirror, though. Everybody and I love looking at ranked lists for Black Mirror because very rarely do you see 2 that are the same. Some people like the more extreme, like crazy ones. Some like the more like human rooted ones. And every season they always offer something for everybody.
All right. So,
it was
so the question is, you know, if I stick with my list now, then, you know, we've got it. But I don't know if I had to swap out Disclaimer for Black Mirror.
You don't have to, though. You 2 overlapped.
I know, but I do love Black Mirror.
I'm not going to fight it.
Black Mirror, I mean, to take a show that has one narrative that you follow over a season, how do you, I think it's tough to give it to an anthology show where every hour something's different.
But wait a minute, hold on.
Or it's got a better chance because it's going to spread the love, and there's a better chance that many voters will find that one that they get obsessed with, and then they're going to want to honor the show overall.
Here's the other thing. Disclaimer dropped like last fall, you know, so it might be a little bit too early. You know, I mean, we always say this when we're covering like movies in the Oscars. Oh, it came out too early. But Black Mirror just dropped, you know, and it's a show that has like, I mean, look, it definitely has a lot of critical acclaim. People love the show, but I feel like it has such a very, very strong cult following because it is so out there, and the show constantly delivers season after season, defying our expectations of what we think the show is going to give us. And then it gives us something out of left field. And of course, I mean, Perri, you know, I love the USS Callister episode.
Yeah,
of
course you do.
Of
Every
course.
Every anthology is uneven, and I think that this season just had a couple of weak episodes. I'm not betting against Corona and Blanchett.
All right.
Not for Black Mirror.
I'm going to go with my head here, and I'm switching disclaimer for Black Mirror. If we're predicting what's going to get nominated,
You can, but you kind of can't, because all three of us had disclaimer.
wait a minute. Wait a second.
It's dying for sex that I didn't.
You and I have presumed innocent. Perri doesn't have presumed innocent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. So Adolescence we all have. Penguin we all have. Monsters we all have, right?
Disclaimer we all have.
Disclaimer we all have. Okay. Well, then no. Sorry, Perri. I got to stick with
It's okay. I thought that's where this was going the second we revealed our list. So no hurt feelings here.
All right, but just any other honorable mentions you want to throw out? Dope Thief, I think, is also an excellent show with Brian Tyree Henry on Apple TV Plus. Say Nothing on FX, decent show, could sneak in. There's the show with Robert De Niro that some people 0 Day. I kind of liked it, but it got very mixed reviews, so I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know. I just thought it was very on point and very much in line with how De Niro feels about the current administration.
Yeah. I heard mixed things on that and kind of bumped it down on my priority list. Have either of you watched Sirens yet? That's one that I've had my eye on for a little while, and I think it's either out or coming out very soon, because I know they started promoting it pretty heavily, and I'm psyched about that cast.
All right. So any other super chats we got here, Perri?
Jimbo. I don't watch TV outside of reality TV, so I don't really care about the Emmys. Just wanted to come in here and say you guys are awesome.
Jimbo, we appreciate that. And I don't watch reality TV, but I do watch regular TV and obviously streaming TV. Jump over to the dark side with us, Jimbo. There's a lot of stuff that's so great that we're talking about here that you should definitely check out, including Stephen Graham.
He's co-hosting FYC today.
He's our yes. This is our.
He's been on screen more than Mance.
Our guest. When Stephen Graham is joining us live, Stephen Graham says, "Watch Adolescence. You're never going to forget it." All right. So. All right. Any other super chats here?
No, we're good. We're good to go today. Today was too bright and early on a Saturday.
And it's a Memorial weekend. So
if
you have a chance to go outside, enjoy the weather this long weekend, do so. But more importantly, there are two excellent movies to see in theaters: Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and of course, Lilo and Stitch, and The Final Destination reboot, which is excellent.
Reboot? What are we talking about?
And also Friendship with Paul Rudd is also great. A lot of good movies. So
I want to know, Perri, did you finish Prom Queen yet?
I honestly should have watched it a while ago, and I got swept up in other assignments. I've been hearing mixed things. It is a top. I'm going to download it and take it on my flight tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it today. I started watching last night. Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Yeah, we got to talk about that one when we watch.
Mike Joyce, Friendship is the movie with Paul Rudd. If you want to laugh your ass off, go to the movies and see Friendship with Paul Rudd. It's all the social media reactions. The reviews have been great. It is a diamond in the rough. It is hiding in plain sight right there in a nice, cool movie theater if you want to break the heat. Anyway, our top five for
I've been orgasming just fine.
Oh, there you go. Yes. All right. That's a reference. All right. So our nominees for the 77th Primetime Emmys Outstanding Limited Series are Adolescence, The Penguin, Presumed Innocent, Monsters, Lyle and Eric Menendez Story, and Disclaimer. Those are our predictions for now. I'm sure they might change when we revisit this category, along with lead actor and lead actress, which we're going to tackle next time we do FYC. So make sure you join us for the next episode of FYC. Make sure you put FYC on your social media platforms So people who have not yet found us after we've been doing this for now 7 years, 7 years we've been doing this. My hair is a lot grayer, and Perri looks exactly the same, which is awesome.
And my hair's just disappeared.
Jeff's just disappeared. So make sure you share FYC in your social media platforms. Follow Perri Nemiroff on social media at either P Nemiroff or Perri Nemiroff. Follow Jeff Snyder on social media at TheInSnyder. Subscribe to Jeff's newsletter at theinsnyder.com if you want to get all the breaking news, because he's breaking it faster than everybody except World of Real. Jordan Rumi is excellent. And also make sure you catch Jeff's other show with my good friend John Roca, The Hot Mic, on John Roca's YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Friendster, MySpace, TikTok at Movie Mance. And enjoy your Memorial weekend. Thank you, everyone, who's watching live. And until the next episode of FYC, see you later.